Hello, folks. Uh, I'm going to talk about my dad today, Patsy Coco McAuley. Uh, my dad had a brutal life. He had an awful hard life. He was a hard man. Uh, I'm not a hard man. Never was, never will be, and wouldn't want to be. I seen the life that he had. You wouldn't wish it in your worst enemy. It just wouldn't leave him alone. The IRA, the UDA, the UVF, the British Army, all of them, they wouldn't leave him alone. My dad was stabbed twice. I know one of the guys that stabbed him. He's actually not a bad guy. They were just kids at the time. Uh, he was shot twice by the IRA as he was coming out of a bar on Pilot Street in 1972 or 1973. He was shot in the stomach and shot in the foot. I'm pretty sure I know who did it. The guy's long dead now. And it was a personal vendetta. He was caught up in a UVF bomb explosion in Ardoyne in 1977. It was at an IRA funeral. Two young fellas were killed. How my dad ever came out of his car alive is incredible. My dad's car was parked opposite the car with a bomb in it. My dad was shot in the Avenue Bar in Belfast city centre in 1988. Three fellas died in this cowardly attack by the UDA. My dad was shot in the shoulder. My dad's hands were beat with a hammer, which was ordered by a Republican, but not sanctioned by the IRA. This guy done this at his own bat after a personal dispute. My dad had multiple fractures and lacerations. A crowd of IRA men from West Belfast came over to do it. Dad was in hospital for weeks, Dundonald Specialised Unit. My dad killed a man in Camden Town in either 1982 or 1983. I believe the guy was American, but I'm not 100% sure. My dad and this man had an altercation in a bar. My dad went to the toilets, and this guy followed my dad into the toilets to pursue the argument they had in the bar. My dad hit him and knocked him out. Sadly, the guy died. We used to have a newspaper which my dad brought back home to Belfast with him. It was the headlines on the front page. In the story it said that the police were looking for a man with a Scottish or Northern Ireland accent with massive arms. My dad had to flee London to come back to Belfast. God rest that poor man's soul. May he be in paradise. My dad was also a minder in Camden Town, the Newry millionaire Ollie Morgan. We knew Ollie well, we liked Ollie. He's long dead now. My dad won a Royal Humane Bravery Award in 1973. On June the 20th, 1972, my dad rescued a woman who was drowning in Stormont Wharf, Victoria Channel, Belfast. My dad jumped in and saved her. Some time later, she bumped into my dad, and instead of showing her gratitude, she beat my dad round the head with an umbrella. She had been trying to kill herself that day, and sadly we heard that she eventually did. God rest her soul too. My dad was a hard man. He knocked out a few soldiers. The British Army sent a regimental boxing champion over from Germany to challenge my dad. Just couldn't make this up. But there's people still alive today who witnessed the fight. There are conflicting stories about the soldier Judasing my dad with a knuckle duster. This might not be true. But what is true is that my dad knocked him out. And after this fight, the army respected my dad, revered him even, and never bothered him again. There used to be graffiti in Herbert Street, sorry. Coco rules the Paras. And then when I knocked the Para out in the ABA final, there was graffiti went up. McAuley's 2, Paras 0. I spoke in an earlier podcast about when my dad hit Tommy Tucker Little's bodyguard. And the UDA wanted to shoot my dad. But a guy my dad knew well, who he boxed with way back in the day, Jimmy Craig, got the IRA to give my dad a good kicking instead. Bobby McCabe, a friend of my dad's and a friend of mine, told me that my dad got blind drunk in Shadows nightclub, and then the UDA turned up and administered a vicious kicking to my dad. The IPLO gave my dad kicking in Monaghan's bar in 1989. My cousin Michael Monaghan told me the story as he was there. He said that Ruco Prey, Geek Donnelly, and many more of them picked on my dad. My dad was sitting in a corner on his own. The bar was more or less empty, and it was during the day. Michael said that my dad, who was well past his best then, was knocking him about like 10 pins, but there was too many of them. They warned him that they would shoot him dead, and they left him on the floor, badly injured. When they left, my dad got up, finished his drink, and went to the went to the Muir Hospital to get stitched up. That's just a wee bit about my dad's life. I mean, the stories I hear, I'm hearing new stories every day. I wrote a book, Fighting to Find Peace, and there's a chapter in it to my dad, but they should really write a book on my dad. I mean, it's incredible. And he was quite a character too. God rest his soul. Thanks very much for listening to me. Take care, God bless, and hopefully speak to you soon.